Hello and welcome back to the Boro Breakdown Opposition Preview Show with me, Tom, and my guest for the evening, Barry from the Progress with Unity podcast. Barry, welcome to the show and thanks for joining me tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I always love talking to the Boro guys and gals. So, yeah.
Just to start off, I think the main talking point around Wigan so far is the recent change of manager with Kolo Toure coming in. Just to start off with, how was that appointment received by the Wigan fan base?
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock, really, to be honest with you. I think they were sort of split on Liam Richardson. I think 90% of people wanted him to stay because of what he'd done for us. You know, we've been with us through administration, etc., but we've been on this horrendous run of losing games. I personally would have given the job for life, but I understood why people thought a change was necessary. But the man who owns the club, he was the one who makes the decisions, and he thought a change was necessary. So obviously, Richardson got the sack, which was very sad. So we had all these different managers, including Chris Wilder, linked. I think Chris Wilder was interviewed.
All right.
Rob Edwards was linked strongly. Neil Critchley, who lives 10 minutes away in Charlie, you know, so he was linked. And I know he was interviewed. And Yaya Toure was mentioned, not Kolo Toure. And immediately Yaya Toure distanced himself from the job. He said he didn't want it, he's not ready for it. Stevie Gerrard was also, thank goodness we didn't appoint him, to be honest with you, but he was up there in the betting. And then suddenly, at the 11th hour, Kolo Toure, I think it was the last day of interviews when Kolo Toure was actually interviewed, and there hadn't even been a whisper that he was, going to be there. And it came out that he was the strongest by far. And people were like, Kolo Toure, where's this come from? You know, it was one of those. But I think when you look into it a little bit deeper, obviously he's played at the top level. We know he's Arsenal, City, Liverpool, and then he spent time up at Celtic and Ivory Coast, 125 caps for Ivory Coast. But his coaching career as well, he's worked with Brendan Rodgers, worked with him at Celtic, and he's worked with him for at Leicester for quite a number of years as well. And so I'm not saying it made sense, but you started to think a little bit, well, I can see why, we're looking at him. But I'd have thought, personally, that might have been a summer appointment, not when you're in the bottom three of the Championship, been on a losing streak like we had, and come by a win. You'd want some sort of dog, wouldn't you, to get you out that trouble if you was changing your manager. You'd want a dog to come in and keep you up. So it was a bit strange, really, from that point of view. And I think a lot of supporters felt the same. But he's said all the right stuff. He's promised all the right things. He's brought a couple of coaches in with him who, I'll be honest with you, I'd never heard of. Kevin Betsy, who worked through at England youth levels, 15s, under 16s, under 17s. He also worked at Arsenal under 23s, and they played against us in the Papa John's last year, and we beat them. So I interviewed him recently, and I reminded him of that one. And also, he was manager of Crawley for a very short period, and he ended up taking them to the bottom of League Two. So, and he got the boot there. But I think he's more of a coach than a manager, and he's got a great reputation. When you read up on him, he's got a fantastic reputation. And then Hash Johal, who's a Sikh, and he's it's like a groundbreaking appointment. He's come along. He's come from Leicester with Kolo Toure. He was working at Leicester there. He's only 27. He's not been a professional footballer, but again, he's one of those that's got this massive reputation of being like a modern coach with all these new initiatives and these ideas. And to be honest with you, we've played 2 games. We played away at Millwall, and we played Sheffield United on Monday night, which we lost. But suddenly you can see the difference that they are making, what we're trying to do. So it was it was quite a surprise. And I still can't get my head around it. how it came about. But I think everybody's optimistic, after just 2 games, but everybody's optimistic now. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned there, the situation you guys were in. You'd want that kind of like dogged manager to get you out of it. I feel like we were in a very similar situation as well, where you look at where Chris Wilder had us, and then we've got Michael Carrick coming in, and it was kind of like, right, but it's his first job in management, and then he's came in and absolutely hit the ground running. Which it seems like you guys might have a similar thing with Colo Toure. But you mentioned there the 2 games, and everyone's really been optimistic. I mean, can you expand on that a little bit? Like, thoughts so far, and has there been a change in style or formation or anything that he's brought in with him?
Yeah, well, I'm saying 2 games we're optimistic. We got 1 point out of 6 from those 2 games. But bearing in mind, I mean, you have to take it into context, don't you? We was away at Millwall, who's got a fabulous home record. And then Sheffield United, who's got a fantastic away record and chasing automatic promotion. So, and we was 1 apiece down at Millwall, and we lost 2-1 against Sheffield United. And to be honest with you, I think we could have got a draw out of that game, or probably deserved to get a draw out of that game. The changes, well, we've changed slightly the formation. We've gone back to the way we played last season in League One, which was like a 4-2-3-1. But under Liam Richardson, we was very slow. If you picture England in the World Cup, how they was knocking the ball across the back 4, that's how we were playing. We were inviting teams onto us. And I think when you came to the DW, that was typical of how we've been playing, and it give you that opportunity just to get at us, didn't it? And and you absolutely destroyed us because we were so flat, and that's how we've been. We've been a bit flat. It's as though we're more concerned we're not losing games than trying to win them, but you end up losing games by being so negative at times, don't you? But the difference, I mean, against Millwall, we had a chance after 30 seconds. We broke, we counter-attacked, and everybody's like, we never do this. And then again, against Sheffield United, 90 seconds into the game, we've had another break, a counter-attack. And again, we've had an effort at goal. And, we should have hit the target, but we didn't, and that could have gone in. So the big change for me, the big difference is that we're playing the ball about a little bit sharper, and we're trying to get quicker from our defensive lines into the attacking third. That is the big difference, and it's played on the floor as well.
Yeah,
under Liam Richardson, it was the diagonal ball into the corners with people chasing it or looking for either Charlie Wyke or Josh McGuinness to hold it up. Neither of those 2 have started since Colo Toure has come in. Nathan Broadhead started, who's a small, diminutive but quick striker and playing on the shoulders of defenders. So we're playing that style of football. Plus he drops and Lange, moves in, or James McLean comes in from the side, or Will Keane, who's playing as a number 10. He'll Broadhead will drop it, and then Keane will try and bust through. So it is a little bit different. So we're mixing it up a little bit now from that's just like, don't lose the game of football type of football. You know what I mean? It was both. I think we were quite lucky early in the season because we picked a few points up, perhaps that we didn't deserve. We won away at Luton, and we hadn't been in the game for 65 minutes. It could have been 2 or 3 up, but we ended up winning 2-1. We was away at Birmingham, and they was all over us, and we scored with 10 minutes to go and made it 1-0. So games like that, we defended doggedly and we picked results up. But I think sometimes when you're out of possession all through games and you're conceding like 15, 20 attempts at your own goal, with just having 3 or 4 yourself, eventually your luck will run out and you'll find yourself like we did, in the bottom 3. So yeah, it has changed. It has changed, and I think. I was Liam Richardson's biggest fan, and even I say it's changed for the better. So I'm really excited about it. I just wish it's just the wrong time of the year for me. I don't think changing your manager in November and December ever seems to work, does it? I mean, we've been here before, it's happened before, and we've still ended up getting relegated. So that's the only thing where I'm looking at.
Might be a bit of a change this time with the World Cup break. It hasn't exactly been the average season, has it? But no, I mean, I was watching Wigan versus Sheffield United on Monday, and I won't pretend to have, watched Wigan a lot this season or anything like that. I think I've seen, that game and the one where we played you. But I did notice a big difference, and it was like you were saying there, you were playing it across the floor and playing good football, and probably should have had a goal towards the end. It was a cracking save by the Sheffield United defender on the line, but
George Baldock, yeah, it was a great save, that, yeah.
But yeah, I thought you guys played well. But
second half, Tom, we played well second half. I think first half we struggled a little bit because one thing that when Roberto Martinez came in all those years ago in 2010, and he had us playing, he had Titus. He tried to turn Titus Bramble into Rudy Kroll from Holland, the total footballer centre half, and it was never going to happen. And I think it's a little bit like that, really. Toure wants us to play out, and have we got the defenders to do it? I'm not 100% sure we have. It's going to be a big.
Do you think he'll be backed in January to try and bring some of those players in?
Yes, 100%. We'll need to. I spoke with our chief executive last week. There was a members' night in the supporters club, and I was interviewing him, and I asked him about, is there going to be funds available in January? And he said during the interview process, every manager asked that question. Every manager, and he told them, yes, there is. And he said they've already had the meeting, and they've already started to discuss what players they need and where they're going to get them from. So the wheels are in motion. So that's a good thing. But I always feel in January is a bad time to buy a player, but it's a good time to loan one. So we might be looking, to use the loan market. And if you think Yaya Toure is the under-23 manager at Tottenham, it's his brother, you know what I mean? So there's a few lads. I mean, one of our lads in administration that Tottenham got him offers, Alfie Devine, his name. He was only 15, and he was playing for England under 18s at the time. Absolutely tremendous player, midfielder. And Tottenham have said they want him to go out on loan to a championship club in January. Now, for me, I don't think it's a non-brainer. It's from Warrington, which is 10 miles away. It's come through our academy. Yaya Toure's brother's our manager, Colo Toure, So I'll be very surprised if he didn't turn up. And we've also heard that Joffrey Gelhardt at Leeds is available for a loan as well. Another one of our former players, come through the ranks. So that's the sort of thing I'd like to see happen, bringing in some loan players rather than, buying. It's just a bad time to buy players, January.
Yeah, it's expensive time, isn't it? Obviously, you guys at the moment find yourself 23rd in the league. Other than possibly, reinforcements in January, what do you think Toure has to do to turn it around?
Well, to be honest with you, just keep playing like we've played in the last two games. I mean, they've been really difficult. Could you have asked for, an harder game than Millwall away as your first one? Perhaps Burnley away, that would have been it. And Sheffield United, the form they're in at the moment and the way they've been playing away from home, another really tough game. So I think it's more the likes of when we're playing Rotherham and playing. We've got Hull City coming up over New Year. We've got Sunderland at home as well. They're the games that we need to win. I mean, it was nice getting a win against Sheffield United. Wouldn't it? Would be brilliant. Nice going up to the Riverside and nicking 3 points. That would be fantastic. But we've got to be realistic where we are. So I think there was such a big change in the way that we played, and the other thing was that the players in the squad performed a lot better, as though this new system was suiting them. Like Callum Wang, man of the match in the last two games. He's been quiet for probably 4, 5, 6 games before that, when he's played. But he was outstanding. He was outstanding on Monday night, and he was outstanding down at the Den. And he gave his fullbacks absolute hell, and both fullbacks ended up getting boots playing against him. So it suits him. It suits him. My concern for us is our fullbacks, who, they both got taken off on Monday night. So I think that tells you the situation with our fullback. So I think we'll be looking to strengthen in those areas.
Well, it definitely sounds like it's going to be an interesting game to watch on Boxing Day. It seems like two very don't know teams who are reacting the same way to a new manager going up ahead against each other and playing in a very similar way. It sounds like, but ahead of that game, who are looking like the main threats from the Wigan side, and also is there anyone from Boro you're not looking forward to coming up against?
Well, from us, I mean, I've mentioned Callum Wang. He's in really good form at the moment. Nathan Broadhead is, he's always likely to bag a goal. Will Keane, top goal scorer with 8 goals. He's probably missed as many as he scored as well. So he's just really, really, really good. He's good on quick feet. He's good on the floor. So they'd be the guys. If I was Michael Carrick, I'd be looking to try and nullify Keane and Lang for sure, and Broadhead as well. From your point of view, Akpom, I mean, I've always liked him. He was good at Arsenal, as a youngster coming through. He's had a tremendous run of form out at the moment. And I mentioned this to Johnny, and he laughed at me he didn't laugh as such, but he said that if we wanted him, we could have him. What more? Now, the reason I pick him out is because of his pace. I mean, that's one thing that we do like. We like genuine pace, and it does frighten us. Now, the good thing about playing Boro away is the emphasis is on you to come at us. So it's not the ball over the top. We want more flying around the back and creating chances. So, but definitely want more. But Akpom as well, most definitely. They're the two for me. And also Jones, is he your right wing back into?
He's right winger now. Changing formation. Tommy Smith's gone right back, and Jones is playing further up the pitch.
Well, that's frightening me now because I thought he was superb down at the DW Fire that night. He was absolutely superb, and he really impressed me. So he's playing right wing, right? Okay. Thank you.
So, how do you see the game going on Boxing Day?
Well, we're very good away from home. If you look at the away form table, we're still about 6th in the away form table, even though we're next to the bottom of the Championship. So I think that tells you how bad our home form is. But our away form is quite good. Oh, and we've only won 2 games at home. We've won quite a few away. So we'll be very difficult opposition for you. Will we win? I don't know. You've hit a great vein of form. I know you come unstuck at Burnley, but Burnley is something else. They're a Premier League club in all but name. Do you know what? Edinburgh tells me the same scoreline, and I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go for 1 apiece.
All right. I mean, I think it's going to be a close game. I mean, I thought he's played well on Monday, and that could have been a lot closer than it ended up being, and could have definitely got anything from Sheffield United. From my side, my prediction, I don't remember the last time I went to a game on Boxing Day that we didn't win. We tend to do well on that day. So I think for me, I'm probably going to go 1-0. But I'm saying it's going to be quite a close game and probably quite nerve-wracking towards the end, I reckon.
I hope so, Tom. I don't hope we're going to lose, but I hope it's nerve-wracking for yourselves. As long as it's entertaining, that's all that matters, isn't it? Because the games are coming thick and fast, and whatever happens, we'll have another 22 games to do something about it, So, but I mean, I've got to say, when we played you down at the DW Stadium, really impressed. I was really impressed with Middlesbrough that night. Especially your second half display was something else, and it was no surprise to see you shooting up the table. So, yeah, but your own form isn't absolutely blistering, is it? So I think
no, not particularly.
Yeah, you've got 5 draws, so I'm hoping that we're going to make it draw number 6.
Well, it did take Carrick a couple of attempts to get his first home win. It's definitely going to be an interesting one. You mentioned there the game at DW. that was Leo's last game in charge before Carrick took over. So it's going to be 2 completely new managers on Boxing Day going head to head. But that was it from me today. So, Barry, thanks very much for joining us.
Yep, thank you very much, and wish you all the best for the new year.
You too. If Boro fans want to check out your podcast, do you have a Twitter link, or do you want to give that a quick plug?
Yeah, it's at PWU Podcast. That's it. Progress with Unity, PWU. And our preview of the Boro game featuring Johnny will be out from around 10 p.m. tonight. Hopefully, it's going to be a little bit festive. I've already started on the Baileys. So I think we'll be well tuned in, and I've pre-recorded with Johnny, and Johnny's done an absolutely fantastic interview. So good fun. It should be interesting.
Fantastic. Well, thanks again for joining me. I'll let you get to your Baileys, and I'm going to go pour one out myself. This was the Boro Breakdown Opposition Preview Show. Thanks for joining us.
Merry Christmas.